Hi, welcome back to Shop's Garage. We're starting off some good news. So first up, we have a pass advisory free on the Dacia Stepway that we Dacia Stepway that we got from our subscriber. That's the one I used for a couple of days myself. It's gone straight for its MOT advisory free, so I've just ordered up the paint. Now, before we took off the paint where someone had touched in some of the scratches and it didn't look great, and I thought it was possibly the wrong colour, but from speaking to the paint guys, when the code came back, it came back as red. And if we look at the rear bumper, you can see the rear bumper is probably more red than the rest of the body. It looks orange, so when the paint comes, I don't think it's going to be an exact match, but I think we still can tidy that up. So we'll give it a wash, give it a valet, touching that paint, and then we're going to put it up for sale. And I think this is going to be bang on the type of car that's going to sell at the moment, and we can be keen on the price because we didn't have to plough a load of money to it on the MOT. Next thing we need to do is, I've sorted that out with the Fiat 500. I'm now getting to a situation where I'm putting cars in for MOT that haven't sold yet, which is a really good place to be as a dealer, because it means that when people come to look at the cars, if they do want it, they can take it away straight away. So I'm then going to check if they need services. So if we get the MOTs done on them, then we get the service done, they'll be 100% ready to go straight out the door. It's been a bit quiet for quite a few dealers at the moment. I haven't been that busy. I've managed to shift some stuff as always, but and it's not such a problem for me because I don't have anything on stock in loans and it's only me here, so my overheads aren't very high. But what normally happens in that scenario is they've been a bit quiet, and then normally suddenly everybody wakes up and wants cars at the same time. So you want your cars to be ready to go straight out the door. So we're going to try and do that. But I do want to plug in the Range Rover. So the one I use, the £3,000 Range Rover, which probably owes me nearly £4 now, I'd say. We need to plug it in and find out what the code was that we got up when it went into limp mode, and find out if it's stored a code or not. So we're going to grab the Topdon and do that. Thanks to all of you that gave me tips on tyres for my motorbike in the last video. A lot of you are very sensible and said, actually, James, why put any money into tyres on this bike? Because it could cost me, what, by the time they're fitted, a couple £100 or so, when you're going to get off that bike as quickly as you can and get into something else. And if I go and buy something maybe at 3 or 4K, set of tyres on this could be sort of 5% of what I'm going to put into my next bike. So you're probably right, it probably doesn't make an awful lot of sense, and on a bike with this speed probably isn't going to make an awful lot of difference. So we'll probably leave that for the moment. So yeah, we're hoping we've got a stored code in the Range Rover for the problem we experienced, which was the limp mode. Today I'm going to be using the Diag 600S, which is my favourite all-rounder, I think, from Topdon, the Diagnostics machines, because I'm a bugger for leaving the Bluetooth in stuff if I use that. So this has got the fixed cable. It's medium size, so it's not too big to lug around. I don't have to worry about whether I've remembered to charge it up or not, because it can take power from the car itself. So I just find it's a really good all-rounder. It's got a sort of a medium level of diagnostics as well. So as I always say, if you want the top end one, you go for the 900, which is like for professionals. If you want one of the if you're not really using it that much, you can go with one of the CarPal small ones. But if you want to do a little mix of bits and bobs and do a bit more diagnosis yourself, probably this is the one for you. Right, we've got to find where the port is. I found the second key, by the way. It was on the floor in the...
Great.
I found the second key, by the way. It was on the floor in the yard. Just happened to walk across it. So here we go, straight in, nice and easy. Right, diagnostics. Let's see if it can read the VIN on this one. So auto VIN. Some of these earlier cars, it seems to be a bit harder for it to read the VIN on. But I had no problem with this one. Cool. Confirm. Yeah, it's got the right car. Let's do an auto scan. All modules, I think. Obviously I can check which modules I want to do, but I'm just going to go through everything because I don't know where I'm looking at the moment. Last time we checked this car, it didn't actually have any codes in it, I don't think. Whoa, we got quite a lot there. I wonder if some of those might be low battery ones, there's so many there. I think perhaps the thing to do is clear them all. Let's just see if we've got anything. We've got one fault in transmission. What's the fault in the transmission? I've been feeling that transmission slipping a little bit. So I wonder if it's going to do that. Lost communication with instrument cluster module. Permanent. Oh, I'm not worried about that. That's nothing too serious. So we could have a sticky turbo. It's a bit more research on that one, I think. Just going to send that report to my email so that I have got a list of everything that came up there. I can do a little bit more research. That's the great thing about this. It's quite possible that we've got a leak in some of the pipework somewhere. It might be worth dropping down to Moores and getting a smoke test done on it and seeing if we can find if there's just a leak in the piping system before we assume the worst with a turbo issue. Could be worth putting a cleaner through it. I do regularly do that. I haven't done it for a little while, so that might be worth doing as well. So there's a few things to do before we go into a panic. Because it's intermittent, it seems to be when it is building the pressure, then the pressure's escaping somewhere. So I think the turbos are probably doing their job of building the pressure. I think we're possibly losing pressure somewhere from a pipe, or it could be like a MAF sensor. It could just be a sensor. We could get onto live values on this and look at the MAF sensor and see if it is, I think it's the MAF sensor we'll be looking at, to see if we've got a reading there or not. I suspect I'd have more problems than I've got at the moment if that sensor was faulty. So I'm putting my money on a leak. I think it might be worth dropping down to Moores boys and doing it. Obviously, like I say, the opportunity with your Topdon here is to carry on diagnosing itself, look at live data, see if you can pick anything up from that. But obviously, time-wise, I don't really have the time at the moment to do that. I've got so much retail stuff to get done, so we'll get down to Moores. Now, as always, because I said I was going to feature this in one of our videos, the Topdon guys have given you a discount code if you want an Artidag 600 for yourself. It's going to give you £15 off the normal price of these, normally £135, which is really good value for money. It was just a couple of hours labour at a garage if you were getting them. Well, I think that most of them would charge you like £70, £80 to just plug it in now. So £135, it's a bit of a bargain anyway, but you can get this with £15 off, so it's £120. Advantage of these as well is if you're servicing your own cars, you'll be able to do service resets. You can do things like rewind electronic handbrakes. DPF regens is another thing you can do on this as well. So if you've got a diesel like this, you start getting that DPF light on the dashboard, and you're not going to be able to go out and do a long run, whatever. You can do DPF regen, static DPF regen if you want to, force regeneration. You can see that's all in the hot functions here. So you've got oil reset, electronic parking brake reset, SES. What's the SES? Someone remind me what SES is, and ABS bleeding. So a lot of things that they really don't want you to be able to do yourself at home these days. They want you to take it back to the dealership. You can actually get done on the vehicles here. Yeah, as always, great bit of kit from Topdon. Like I say, this is a good middle of the range one if that's the kind of thing you're looking for. I'll put links in the description down below. Hurry, because the special offers don't tend to last that long and they sell out very quickly as well. Great Christmas present for someone, actually. About that time you start to think about that as well, isn't it? So anyway, with the Rangy, like I say, we'll get it down to Moores, get a smoke test done, see if we can't find out if we've got a leak on the go. And then hopefully I can get some more miles of motoring out of it, because I do love this old barge. So the stepway's had a good clean, and inside as well. Come up really nicely inside. So now to tackle these scratches, the problem is, as suspected, the red is actually quite a red, and obviously nowhere near the orange of the car. So what I've had to do is mix some stuff up. Now I had an orange. Credit to anyone who remembers this car. A Suzuki Alto, I needed to change the rear axle on when I was down at Alfa Ragazzi, and also the paint had faded on that, and I took it to Marlowe's and they did me a bespoke match. I don't have time to have that done with this car now, but what I did is, that's quite an orange, so I mixed it in with a bit of the red. I'm just trial and erroring it at the moment. That's as close as I've got. So where are we so far? Which obviously is much better than the bright red. And I'm layering it up into the scratch. I'll need 2 or 3 goes of laying the paint up before I start the process of then taking that paint back, leveling it off, so it'll only actually be the little line that's got the colour in it, not around the outside as well. So while I'm waiting for the paint to dry off to be able to take it back, I'm going to do the photos, because the scratches are that small that you can't really notice them in the photos or the video. So we'll do that after, because I want to leave the paint for a good few hours to harden off. It's looking nice, isn't it? The little stepway. Been a fantastic little run around for me while I've been using it. Cracking little cars. So yeah, I'm going to get the, I've done all the photos now, I'm going to get the walk around video done on it. Like try and get it all done in one go, and then I know exactly where I am because it's MOT'd, and then we just check when it's next to a service and it should be ready to go straight out the door. So I've had quite a lot of interest in the old BMW because obviously it's a really nice looking car. No one's quite pulled the trigger on it yet. They've asked for more information. Now, one thing that I've decided to do very differently to how I normally do my prep of the cars is I'm going to take this to BMW main dealership for a service. That's because it has a full BMW service history. All the invoices are printed out. If we just get a Moore's stamp in the book now, I think it might hurt the value of the car. So I always service a car if it's due within the next 6 months. So I checked the car over, it is due one, it's saying on the computer it's due one. I gave them a ring down at Barnstable BMW to see what they would charge me down there. And it's going to be £276. That's for oil filter, oil, air filter, and brake fluid, I believe. It might not even be air filter, actually, it might just be oil filter, but they want to do a brake fluid change on it as well. I said go ahead, might as well. If that's what the BMW spec says it should be, let's do it. That's including VAT, so actually that doesn't seem too bad. I think I probably would have been sort of just for a normal oil and filters at maybe 150 quid, well maybe 100 quid. So I don't think it's outrageous, and I think that extra spend is warranted on a car this clean and with the service history it's got. The only problem is I've got to drive it down there and obviously get back and then get back down again to pick it up. I have got a car to pick up from the main dealer, which is next door, so if I drop this off I can pick up that car from the main dealership and then just need a lift back to get it in the evening. I end up doing a lot of that, running back and forth, which is one of the reasons I wanted to get a motorcycle license. I did think about getting a scooter so I could just leave it places, but it's still another vehicle at one end of the journey, isn't it? But yeah, we'll get it down there and I'll report back on how I find the service of going to a main dealership, because I've been a long time since I've done that. You kind of get the feeling you're going to be hit with a list of other things they think should be done, but we might be pleasantly surprised. We have been before, haven't we, with Toyota when we put that old RAV4 in. So, you know, we'll see. I'll report back later. Now, one service I'm going to do myself is the Peugeot 308 that's going out the door. That's the point in there. That hasn't got a full main dealer history. Got their stuff from my suppliers because I needed it super quick because the lady wants it ASAP. They sent me Mobile 1530 for it, which I'm sure I'm going to double check is absolutely the correct oil for the wet belt on those 308 1.2s. And I've got the filter there as well. They've got to drop me an air filter. We've got the bane of my life when it comes to doing quick oil changes, under trays, and one that runs from the front right to the back. So, obviously I'm not going under just with the jack on it at the moment, but got bolts right at the back there, right at the back there. It doesn't even seem to be like an inspection panel or anything for you to do your oil changes, so it seems the whole thing needs to come off. These will have no doubt rusted in these little 10 mils. Although this does have a good service history, so that might be a lifesaver on it. But it's just such a pain. Why not make a panel that can drop out and allow you to get to the servicing items? It really naffs me off. There we have it. All nice and easy to access once the cover's off. So we've got the oil filter there, drain plug there. I let the car run for a while so it's nice and warm. You see everything is nice and clean and free of oil leaks. As we know, it had a reconditioned engine, didn't it? Always one rogue zip tie, which is there, where someone's not been able to fit a bolt back in again and they've used a zip tie. You'll find that with all big under trays as a general rule. So let's get the oil drained and get it swapped out. I can already see the oil coming out. To be fair, I can always see the oil coming out is super clean. We know it did pretty much no miles since this was put in, but as time degrades oil, we will, as well as usage, we'll get it all swapped out and freshly stamp the book. I always keep the invoice for the parts I've ordered as well, so that the owner knows I genuinely did do it. Obviously what we're going to do is lower the car down and get it level so that this completely drains out, and then we'll drop the oil filter as well. So, fresh filter on, sump plug back in with a fresh copper washer, all tightened up. I know it was done by somebody who knew what they're doing before, because that filter came off really nicely and didn't require me to put the braking strain of flipping I know, world's strongest man on it to get it off. It came off really nicely. And yeah, all seemed nice and clean and tidy. So what I'll do now is lower it, fill it up, and then I'll run it up without the guard underneath, just check I've got no leaks or anything like that, and then we'll put it back up and put the guard back on again. So there we go, all done. Run it up, top it back up again, and we are bang on where it should be. So wipe it off and do it again, just double check. I don't like these Peugeot ones. I noticed them in the Minis as well, with the same sort of engine. To do a dipstick measuring guide that is the same colour as dirty oil, I don't think is the smartest move in the world, is it? But that is bang on where it should be. Focus, focus, focus. And good to go. There we have it. All serviced, stamp the book and put the invoice in there, giving it a waterless wax clean over and some tyre shine on, giving the lady a ring, and she's going to pick it up tomorrow. Save herself probably about 50, 70 quid labour doing that myself. Sometimes if I've got the time, I do quite like doing bits and bobs like that. Keep my hand in it and keep me in practice for all this old stuff that I need to get sorted out. Anyway, thanks for watching. Nothing major on this episode, I guess. Next episode, we've got lots of new cars in though, so a lot one for you to look forward to. And I'm sure we'll have some more customer drama soon for those of you that like that as well. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.